friendly because it's a challenge.
Oh, it's marvellous.
Absolutely disgusting. What's right with it?
I do know what I'm not talking about.
Hello, welcome to the second of our compilations of funniest moments from 5 series of Barry Welsh Is Coming. Over the years, I've come through that door, not in the way you're thinking, literally loads of times. Here's one occasion that didn't get transmitted. I think you'll see why. Sorry about that. Dash of food poisoning, I think. But the show must go on. Yeah, perhaps not. Excuse me. Yes, I'd eaten too much mutton Swansea. That's sheep's anus boiled in fat. And it didn't agree with me. And talking of things that don't agree with me, let's go over to Hugh Pugh. Hello, Hugh? Hugh?
Still here then, Barry?
Yes? Where did you expect me to be?
Oh, I don't know. Hanging from your own staircase with a dressing gown cord round your neck?
My dressing gown zips up.
A zip-up dressing gown?
Yes?
You're a strange man, aren't you, Barry? You haven't seen today's Fish Guardian, then?
Hugh, how many times have I got to say it? I'm not a homo.
No, they mean out, as in out of the series. Yeah, and they held a reader's poll on what job you should do next. I'll read it to you. Lavatory attendant, lavatory supervisor, lavatory attendant, oh, this one's different, toilet attendant, freelance lavatory consultant, non-executive lavatory executive, lavatory troubleshooter, part-time lavatory advisor, lavatory manager, or a job as Anne Widdicombe's anus. Her own anus is retiring from public life to spend more time with its family. Actually, that last one was my idea.
Are you trying to tell me that my job is at risk?
No, your job's safe. It's just that you won't be doing it. Bye, Barry.
No, I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, sit back now and enjoy the cream of Barry Welsh. Not in the way you're thinking.
Ask Control to Ask Mobile. Ask Control to Ask Mobile.
Ask Mobile receiving you, Ask Control.
Proceed 35 Oak Lane. Report of a large animal trapped under stairs. Emergency status, Code 9 Blue.
Code 9 Blue received. We're on our way. 9 Blue, Dave.
9 Blue it is.
I'm so glad you're here. There's an elephant under the stairs.
All the right people. Pass me the torch, Dave.
It's just in here.
Well, it's not an elephant. It's just a length of Hoover pipe sticking out the cupboard.
How silly of me. I'm ever so sorry. I've wasted your time.
No, you haven't wasted our time. You did exactly the right thing.
Dave's right. It's all part of the job. You take care now.
Thank you.
Well, that lady did exactly the right thing. I mean, this time it was only a Hoover pipe. We had to make sure.
Today saw the official opening of the new Fishguard to Fishguard rail link, which is expected to shorten journey times by as much as 100%. However, train operator Fishrail say that the trains will not be stopping at Fishguard. Huge crowds gathered today in Fishguard to watch the huge crowd which had gathered to watch a huge crowd gathering. There were huge crowds, said a spokesman for Fishguard Police. A local vineyard, owned by Mayor of Fishguard Mr. Kenny Twat, has produced its first batch of wine. Chateau Myself is described as a strongly flavoured grey wine with a powerful bouquet, reminiscent of the farmyard. Mr. Twat said that the wine would go down well with any sort of food, but he refused to guarantee that it would stay down. Reports are just coming in of a derailment on the new Fishguard to Fishguard rail link, opened only this afternoon. Accident investigators at the scene say that safety standards had been compromised because train operator Fishrail had tried to cut corners. The derailed locomotive had in fact been trying to cut a corner to save time when the accident happened. And finally, do you dance like a pillock? A lot of men do. But don't worry, a brand new invention means that from now on, even Fred Astaire, who's been dead for more than 200 years, could get down and boogie. It's all the brainchild of Professor Zip Fastener, an expert in trouser physics at Fishguard College of Technology, who's come up with what are quite literally dancing trousers. Professor Fastener claims that the trousers, seen here being tested for Latin American rhythms, can make even the biggest grebo look like Gene Kelly, whoever she is. Whatever next. The end of this news desk, actually. Good night.
Hello? A couple of years ago, I had all my teeth out. And I woke up after the general anesthetic, and I could feel something in my mouth. It was a pubic hair. And the dentist was looking very shifty. Then I noticed that my face was covered in spunk. And I thought, no wonder the dentist looks embarrassed, man. While I was asleep, I've sucked myself off. Wasn't until I got home that I realized it wasn't one of my pubic hairs. Makes you wonder what they teach him at dental college, isn't it? Good night.
Well, now it's time to meet one of the most remarkable men in Wales, or anywhere else for that matter, via the Barry Welsh satellite link-up with Colwyn Bay. Please welcome Celtic daredevil, Mr. Geraint Pillock. Geraint, welcome to the show. I understand that you're about to attempt an extraordinary expedition. You're planning to cross the Sahara Desert solo, that's by himself. And you're going to cross 1,000 miles of baking sand in a coracle. Why are you doing this?
Mainly because it's a challenge. First of all, it's a challenge for me. Secondly, it's a challenge for the coracle. And again, it's a personal challenge for me.
Yeah, well, I can see that it's a challenge, all right, but why do you want to take on such a challenge?
Mainly because it's a challenge. First of all, it's a challenge for me. Secondly, it's a challenge for the coracle. And again, it's a personal challenge for me to keep the coracle and the tradition alive.
So there's a tradition, is there, of people crossing the Sahara Desert in coracles?
Well, what I'm doing now really is turning a theory into a fact by doing it in this day and age, which will prove that it has been done before.
Well, all right, Geraint, I'll accept that as an answer, even though it isn't. Moving on. Don't you think that what you're going to attempt is a bit dangerous?
It could be very dangerous, and yet on the other hand, it can be all right. It all depends on the weather.
The weather? Well, assuming that it's sunny, and I think we can. How long do you think it's going to take you to paddle 1,000 miles across the Sahara Desert?
Could take anything from between 12 and 50 hours.
All right. Right, so you reckon that you can cross the Sahara Desert, what, in a coracle over the weekend? Fair enough. And just remind me, Geraint, why do you want to do this?
Mainly because it's a challenge.
Geraint Pillock there, a man who is severely challenged. Let's take a break.
Holidays can be stressful, and the last thing you want is a dose of skin cancer from too much sun. So why not come to Fishguard? You won't see the sun for weeks, and it'll probably pour down. Malignant melanoma? No thanks. I'm going to Fishguard. I kept my girlfriend awake all last night, but I wasn't knobbing her. It's this awful cough. What you want is cough off for coughs. Cough off? Will that stop me covering my girlfriend with phlegm every 5 minutes? It certainly will. Whatever's causing your cough, whether it's a chest infection or a pubic hair stuck in your throat, cough off is the answer. Cough off for coughs.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at some more of the greatest hits from Barry Welsh Is Coming. I didn't just say greatest tits, by the way, although I did say it then. But the first time I said greatest hits. OK? Just in case you misheard me and thought you were about to see a parade of women with bosoms like watermelons. Because you're not. Pity, really. I like watermelons.
Have you ever broken wind when ejaculating? Bloody embarrassing if you're sitting next to another passenger. So I haven't got VD, which is good, because I got married on Saturday. Lovely wedding it was, although there was a bit of confusion when the photographer wanted to take a picture of family members and I got my knob out. You know that scene in The Godfather, where he wakes up in bed and finds a horse's head laying next to him? That must happen to Prince Charles every morning when he's... A few weeks ago, I sprained my penis quite badly, running for a bus. You shouldn't masturbate running for a bus, I know. What was I supposed to do? The bus was coming and so was I.
Actually, I was just looking at a newspaper before I came on, and there was a headline in it about a plane crash, and it said, "Catalogue of errors led to disaster." And I was thinking, what was the pilot doing reading a catalogue while... Should have been flying the plane, yes. And why have a catalogue of errors in the cockpit in the first place? It's asking for trouble, isn't it? But I don't want to worry anyone with that little story, because statistically, flying is the safest way to die. So, there we are. And talking of errors and disasters, let's go over now to Pew in Fishguard. Hugh, what are you doing? Hugh, what are you doing? What are you...
I got a balloon.
That's the only balloon you got, is it, in Fishguard?
Yes. Suppose you got loads of balloons in Cardiff, haven't you? Balloon City.
Yeah.
And the biggest balloon of them all is you, Barry Welsh. I'm surprised you don't float out the window, you great big sausage of gas.
Why are you so rude?
It's quicker.
Just do the special report, will you? Oh.
Hello. There's great excitement here in Fishguard today as huge crowds gather to watch the official opening of Fishguard Tourist Pipeline, which is hoped to suck up to 500 million tourists a year into West Wales. The pipeline is the brainchild of Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat's son, Rasputin Twat, who noticed how easy it was to suck his Power Rangers up a Hoover pipe. That principle have now been applied on a much larger scale to the tourist pipeline. built by local volunteer groups such as the Welsh Language Homosexual Society.
Tourism is an important part of the local economy, and local councillors decided to take action when figures showed that minus 27 tourists had visited Fishguard in the last 3 years. That's less than no tourists at all, which is impossible that it happened anyway. Research showed that the main problem was the extremely poor transport links in the area.
The main form of transport is still shoes, and many of the shoes are old-fashioned lace-ups, although elastic-sided boots have been introduced on some routes.
In winter, getting about is virtually impossible, with only 3 Wellingtons in the whole of West Wales. But all that's about to change. I spoke to Annika Rice, who's here to perform oral say. Sorry, perform the official opening ceremony.
Annika, nice to see you not wearing a jumpsuit.
No, it's people saying, gosh, have you got any other clothes apart from jumpsuits? But just a bit of a change.
Yeah. What do you think of the pipeline?
So effective, it's quick, it's safe, and it's a very good service for here because it's obviously more expensive than the traditional ferry route, but then you're cutting down on time a lot because apart from anything else, it's a very exciting way of travelling.
Yeah. Annika, I don't suppose there's any chance of a... Oh, she's buggered off to unveil that plaque. Never mind, didn't fancy it anyway. Art. And Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, activates the pipeline. And here are the first pipeline passengers arriving at the emergency hospital set up to cope with the tragedy.
Obviously, any new technology will have teething troubles, and Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, said that he hoped the survivors would enjoy what will probably be quite a long stay in Fishguard, in hospital. He added on a triumphant note that local hotels were now fully booked with relatives of the dead and injured. This is Hugh Hugh in Fishguard.
You're not a grandmother by any chance,
I am a grandmother.
You are?
Grandmother.
Oh, well, in that case, now I wonder, could we do a little experiment?
Go on then, try it.
Okay. Would you be prepared to suck that?
God, what are you after now? There's something funny going on by you.
No.
I'm not going to suck that, no.
Oh, I see. Because you know the old saying,
What's the old
you shouldn't teach your grandmother to suck eggs.
But I wouldn't try it either.
So you think that's true then? You shouldn't teach your grandmother to suck eggs.
Well, I wouldn't suck no egg.
Why would you not suck an egg?
What do I want to suck an egg for?
I don't know. What do you think it would be like?
Well, I don't fancy it, I'm sorry.
You don't fancy it?
No, thank you.
Is there anything else that, as a grandmother, you'd be prepared to suck?
I don't know. It's all according.
All according to what?
It's all come what it was.
Right. Can you think of anything that as a grandmother, you'd be prepared to suck?
I better leave it there. We better leave it there, I think. Come on.
I see.
No fear. Come on, you're not having me on. Come on now. I'm finished. Come on.
Thanks very much for talking to us. Anyway. Thank you for talking to us.
No, it's all right, thanks, sir. Pleasure.
Okay,
It's a
very
pleasure
good.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
No,
Thank you.
thanks very much.
Oh,
All right,
there we are.
thank you.
Take
Thanks
care.
very much.
Steady
Bye.
crossing the road now. There's. Oh, there we are. Off you go then. Oh. It's okay. You do have to be careful crossing the road, you know.
Philosophers like to ask, is the glass half empty or is it half full? Don't make any difference, man. Somebody else's pint.
See that?
Yep. Knock another one.
Dave, over here.
Strum! What are people going to learn? You can't just go away on holiday and leave animals to fend for themselves. Poor little blighter.
I'll try and find a way in.
Yeah, good idea.
There we was a window open.
Badly dehydrated. Can you get your camera in here? This is what we're dealing with.
Dave and Dave are concerned about a blue bottle on the windowsill.
Doesn't look good, Dave. I'm going to try mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I've blown it off the windowsill.
Careful, Dave, you can break his back. Yeah, the back.
Get the shovel, Dave. No, make it the spoon. Okay, Dave. Spooning him now.
Nice lead, Dave.
Spooned.
Okay, flap set.
Stay calm, stay calm. You're all right now, we know what we're doing.
Come on, you little beauty.
Let's go.
Dave and Dave will treat the injured blue bottle back at the trauma centre, based in Dave's mum's kitchen.
Hello. Trials started today in Fishguard of a new way of helping blind pigs get about using a guide man. It's hoped that this simple method, based on slapping the pig with a white stick, will enable sightless pigs throughout the country to lead a nearly normal life in the muck. Cleaning up have been going on in Fishguard all day after a pigeon flew over the town this morning and shat. Good night.
Good night. Go on. Good night. Hello there. Do you realise that we've edited this bit of old film to make it look like I'm talking to you?
Yes, it's easily to understand, but I don't think the pedestrian can do the same.
What? What's a pedestrian got to do with it? Do you understand what's going on? You're in a bit of old film, and it looks like you were listening to what I'm saying. You don't get it, do you?
No.
Good, sir.